So I've been silently watching the NBA free agency develop. Of course, we also had the NBA draft, but the free agency market has grabbed the most of my attention. I've seen some moves I really like and some I really hate. Hey guys, Purple Prince here, and let's talk about some NBA free agency here. Well, I have to start with the big one. Gordon Hayward to the Charlotte Hornets, 4 years, $120 million. Wow. When you thought the Hornets can't make an even worse decision. I hate this move for the Hornets, not only because I still think of Nicolas Batum's contract that was also $120 million, but I have no idea why in the hell would you sign Gordon Hayward to that type of deal. First of all, since his peak in 2017 and horrible injury thereafter, he just hasn't been the same player. He had a nice bounce back year last season, but he still wasn't a game changer. His injury history is rather checkered and he's about to be 31. He's a solid all-around player, but so was Nicolas Batum at the time. And I'm not comparing their skill set, because I think Gordon Hayward's better, but this deal, oh man, just so bad, so bad. And even if the Hornets assume that Gordon will be an all-star again, is he really that great of a player to warrant that type of contract? I'm happy for Gordon getting his money, but man, how can one organization make such stupid decisions over and over again? Just ridiculous. Hayward is not a box office attraction as well, so it's not like Charlotte miraculously got more fans with the signing either, so it's just bad from so many aspects. And in another surprising move, Harrel stayed in Los Angeles, but he changed teams. Yep, he's a member of the Los Angeles Lakers now. This was also a bit of a shocker because there weren't a lot of rumors about him possibly going to the Lakers. And I didn't think he'd stay with the Clippers either because I thought he'd cash in somewhere else. But in the end, he goes to the Lakers in a pretty shocking move, I guess. So the Lakers get 6th Man of the Year, a dynamic player with a good offensive arsenal, hustle, toughness, but some limitations. I guess the biggest worries are on the defensive side of the ball, but the Lakers have options to mask a big portion of the deficiencies. Time will tell. This is a head scratcher for me. I like Montrezl Harrell the player, but I'm not sure how exactly he fits with the Lakers as of this moment. On the other hand, the Clippers, now they I think got the better power forward on the market. Serge Ibaka signed with the Clippers for 2 years, $19 million. I think it's a great addition to the Clippers. First of all, they had a need at the position after losing Harrel to their biggest rivals, the Lakers. Now with Marcus Morris also signed for the next 4 years, they have some options. They can keep Ibaka on the bench or start him together with Marcus Morris. They can both stretch the floor effectively, and Ibaka was very effective coming off the bench as well, so they have options now. Ibaka is not that monster on the defensive side anymore, but he can still defend the paint good and great at times, and he's friends with Kawhi, so I think the chemistry will be there from the get-go. More importantly, it also adds some veteran presence to the team. Ibaka is also an NBA championship with Kawhi, so he brings those additional championship credentials that the Clippers lack. A very solid move and on a team-friendly contract. One move we can't ignore as well is Fred VanVleet resigning with the Toronto Raptors. 4 years, $85 million. I mean, you'll never mistake VanVleet for an all-star player, but he's such a solid piece for the Raptors team. He's their leader emotionally, he provides great shooting, he's a team leader, and he's one of their better players that the Raptors couldn't afford to lose. The Raptors will have a big turnaround again after losing Ibaka, Gasol, and possibly someone else, but I guess they want to go younger, so whatever the plan is, it's clear that VanVleet is a part of that plan. He sort of evolved into what DeMar DeRozan was for the Raptors, just a player that the city loves, the teammates love, and at the end of the day, he is a good player, so a solid signing, or in this case a re-signing for the Raptors. In other moves, the Kings re-signed De'Aaron Fox on a max deal. Well, they had to. That's the only good thing they have running for them. Fox has been very good for them and the only real bright sparkle in the dark future of the Kings basketball. The player gets his money, but I think he kinda also signed a 5-year losing record type of contract, but who knows, maybe the Kings turn it around. Joe Harris returned to the Nets on a pretty hefty price, 4 years, $75 million. He's a great shooter and somebody the Nets desperately need, so they had to overpay him a bit. He's not much of a defender, his shtick is shooting, and he shot for a big one right here. Now, he'll have a lot of open shots if Kyrie ever passes him the ball, but yeah, Durant, Kyrie, with that superstar power, you still need some good shooters around, and Joe Harris fits the mold. And speaking of shooters, Davis Bertans also got a pretty good contract from the Wizards, 5 years, $80 million. Now, the Wizards were always going to pay premium for shooting talents, and now with the uncertainty surrounding John Wall, good shooters on the team are more important than ever. I think this is not as bad of a contract as it sounds. Bertans has some defensive potential, he's quite tall, he can play multiple positions, and he can basically fit in any system. And his shot is a thing of beauty, so $16 million per is a pretty good deal for a world-class shooter. Miami retained some core pieces of their team in Goran Dragic and Myers Leonard. They also added Avery Bradley, so they're gunning up for a potential return to the NBA Finals. That will be so much harder though, since Brooklyn will be in the mix. You always have the Bucks, the Celtics, and who knows, maybe some superstar gets traded to the East as well. All in all, there have been a lot of moves which I'll also cover in other videos, and I'll talk about some of the trades on a different day as well. But cool, very cool, I can already feel the NBA season right around the corner. So what about you guys? Which move so far in the free agency you like the best? Which was the absolute dumbest move ever? Please leave a comment with your thoughts on NBA free agency. Like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. This is Purple Prince, and I'm out.